There's a flag back there in the kicking area.
There, yeah, it's Dick Van Acker, the referee. It's illegal use of the hands against the Titans.
Personal foul.
Personal foul against Brandon. Okay. Well, that will give the Titans the first down, and should salt it away. Unless both signals were correct, they may be offsetting penalties. I'm not sure.
That's what I was thinking, Dan. It might be.
Well, we'll just let them sort this one out.
Well, let B.J. Smith tell you. He knows all the answers.
We've got our expert here in the booth, and he said we're not paying him enough, so he's keeping his mouth shut.
Oh, I didn't tell you before you arrived tonight. Your statistician said she might resign.
Might resign?
Just quit.
Well, we're not traveling next week, so if she hangs on for 2.5 more minutes, you may lose your bargaining position there. Gene Rogers, who's handled the stats for us since I guess about the 3rd game of the year, and has done the best job I've ever had of anyone who's done this before. Thank you.
She loves this cold weather.
First down.
Oh.
First down for the Titans. It was not offsetting. It was the penalty against Brandon, and now with 2:34 to go, Dickens is in the game at quarterback, and the Titans will try to run the clock out. They lead 27-14. Some anxious moments here in the 4th quarter. Hawkins breaks it loose. Hawkins to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, that's what a running back is supposed to be. Make the defense put you down. Make them tackle you, put you on the ground. And he just keeps running and running. And I want to watch this. Watch this effort. Look at that. Look at that. Just keeps on going.
That's really the first one he's broken. He had 25 yards on 5 carries before that little ramble. First down at the 34-yard line, and the clock will continue to run. 2:10 to go. Salisbury.
He just had 25 yards before that. He probably thought he better have about 20 more, 25. He wants to make that trip to South Florida next week.
Salisbury now has 114 yards tonight. 114 yards on 10 carries. Of course, he had the big 77-yard run.
Second down.
And 1:38 to go. The Titans on their way to the state championship game. Don Sharp's impressive record glows ever more brightly every week. Dickens capes. Dickens to the 20. Dickens has the first down. Number 15, Vince Dickens, and he has really asserted himself. They've had a 2-quarterback system here. Reeve Snyder and Dickens both have been able to move the football team this year. Dickens has really, well, Don Sharp says he's a winner. In the Tate game, they had a couple of tough situations, big plays, and he automobilized on a couple of them for big plays, and they're the types of things that no one knows about until you talk to the coaches. And then all of a sudden you realize how valuable a man can be, and Dickens is just a winner. First down at the 20. 1:05 to go. Dickens keeps in, is down at the 20, and flag goes downfield. Sasser and Bobby Stevens, number 25, the defensive back. Remember, we told you he was the man who leads the team, Brandon, in interceptions. He's a second-team all-conference performer, and we told you that the Titans had sort of taken him out of the game. And he vented a little bit of his frustration on Lance Sasser, and he's going to be flagged for the penalty. We mentioned that Don Sharp. You remember he came here in 1980. His first year was the year that the Tate Aggies won the state championship. He was 6-4 and 7-3. So after a 13-7 start, he then went 13-0 and won a state championship. He went 9-1, won a district championship. Went 13-0 in 1984, 9-2 this year.
Dan, I want to say something that I don't mean anything derogatory towards the coaching staff, but you cannot have a championship football team or high school football players that's getting the personal foul that they're getting late in this ball game.
Well, and flags are down right now at the line of scrimmage, so it is garbage time. 46 seconds to go. The Titans have this game well in hand, 27-14. They will look ahead to that long-awaited matchup with Bradenton Manatee. They will play that in Bradenton. We will not be traveling next week. No games to be in town here. And we will not be traveling, so this is our last game of the year.
Want to wish the Escambia Gators much success. They are bid for a state championship, and also the Woodham Titans. Of course, it looks like Baker's going to win theirs tonight, and maybe the Duniac Springs.
And that's glad you brought that up. John Enzer's Baker Gators, 37 consecutive wins now, and that is a state record. They had shared that record of 36, and they won their state championship, or state record 37. Straight game and their third straight state title. Don't know the score. That's unofficial, of course, because it was 31-0 in the third quarter, and I don't suspect they'll let that one slip away. So now they'll mark off the 5 yards back to the 10. 35 seconds to go. Our thanks to Don Sharp and his entire coaching staff for all the help they gave us in putting this game together. And to Larry Bass from Brandon, who helped us out.
I don't imagine the last game that we did here was the Woodham Tate game at the end of the regular season, and we almost never got out of here that night. The crowd was so big. But Dan, with the weather like it is tonight, I would imagine that we're going to be able to get out of this stadium and get home pretty soon.
If I can get my car started. And that should be the final play. 6 seconds to go, and they're stopping the clock with 7 seconds to go. And Brandon called the timeout. Well, you'll see some teams will do this, and some teams will just let it run out. Frankly, I don't understand. There's some people just hate the idea of taking a timeout into the locker room, unless you're going to go for the turnover and the touchdown and the 8-point conversion.
Some of them just hate to think about we have lost. As of right now, they haven't lost, but in 7 more seconds, they will have.
So the Titans, one more play. We suspect. Reed Snyder takes a snap, falls on the football. 4, 3, and they'll let it run out now. The Woodham Titans, 27, Brandon Eagles 14, and the Titans are on their way to the state final. Consecutive wins, number 9 for Woodham. They are now 10-2 on the year. An impressive start, Jet, for the Titans. They dominated play early. They established the tempo of the game. They established their own field position. And then hung on in the fourth quarter and survived some anxious moments in the fourth quarter that may help them in the long run. If they have a lead once again, they may take it a little bit more seriously this time.
I think this type thing in the fourth quarter thing may help them next week, Dan. And also, I think, if you've gone down there with a 27-0 win in this game tonight, psychologically, I think it's better this way. Also, for the people downstate, I think maybe this is better. I just believe that everything turned out well. Woodham will be going down next week, and it should be a great ball game.
Well, one of life's more bitter lessons was played out on the field after the game. David Schlarbaum, the all-star, and there you see Mike Thorson, the defensive coach for Woodham. David Schlarbaum, the linebacker for Brandon, who was injured last week, knee injury, could not play tonight, limping off the field on his crutches, and you know the dejection there. He didn't even have the opportunity to play it out. We'll wrap it up in just a minute, right after this break.